Hi guys, so today I'm driving the new Toyota Corolla. Okay, now of course we have the Toyota Corolla has been a household name where cars are concerned. It is perhaps Toyota's most best known nameplate. All right, this is the model after what more than a dozen generations. This is the model that Toyota built its name upon as a purveyor of trustworthy, reliable family cars. I mean, all of us, all right, at some point at our lives or another, would have known a close friend or family member with a Corolla in their house. Certainly, going back to my own past, once upon a time, many years ago, when I was born, my family used to have a KE70, which they then sold, what, I don't know, when I was 2 years old or 3 years old. I still have memories of that car. In fact, my mom told me that I cried when they sold the car off. All right, so yeah, but that's another story altogether lah. So coming back here to this car, the history of the Corolla. Now, sometime in the late 90s or in year 2000, Toyota added the Altis suffix to the Corolla name. The idea is that they had wanted to move the Corolla a bit more upmarket because because they were selling it at a much higher price, of course. So yeah, so the Corolla name moved upmarket, and the role that the Corolla previously filled was what previously played was then filled by the Vios. Okay, so yeah, so you know, after in the early 2000s, the Vios then became the trusted, affordable family all-purpose vehicle. It is what the Vios is today was what the Corolla used to be back in the 80s and the 90s. All right, it was the affordable, reliable transport for all. But still, the Corolla name continued, right? It continued to be a comfort-oriented, a luxury-oriented C-segment entry that contrasted the more overtly sporty Honda Civic. Okay, then, well, they went through how many generations of the Corolla Altis? There was 1, 2, 3 generations of the Corolla Altis, and now we arrive at this one here. This is the new TNGA based Corolla, which UMW Toyota calls it just the Toyota Corolla. But when you step out and go to the boot, you still see the Altis wording there. Why? Because Thailand, which is where this car is made, is still calling it the Corolla Altis. We, well, since we just take stock from Thailand, they thump out the badge there, and well, the car just comes with the badge law. But if you were to look at all the promotional materials, all the marketing talk and all that, this is just the Toyota Corolla. Okay, so the platform is all new, TNGA platform, same as the CHR and the Camry. Okay, of course, resized according to fit the Corolla's dimensions and all that. The important bit is that this thing now has rear double wishbone suspension, which is something that that used to be a Civic thing. You know, last time, back in the days of the Civic EG and all that, they used to have the Civic used to have all-round double wishbone suspension. Then by the time the Civic FD came about, it became just rear double wishbones. And moving forward now, today, the Civic, it still has independent rear suspension, but they have went to McPherson struts in front and multi-links at the rear. The Corolla here uses McPherson struts in front, double wishbones at the back. And I can tell you right now, as I am coming down from Genting Highlands, I can tell you it makes a difference. This car handles, all right? This car absolutely handles. It gives me so much confidence to tackle all these bends, all right? To just throw this car into the corner, knowing that the chassis has the absolute stability to cope with all the forces and weight distribution to keep me on track. This is a genuinely lovely chassis setup. Absolutely no question. I'm really enjoying. I'm really enjoying the interaction between myself and the chassis of this car. It's such a fantastic handling car. The only downside, of course, is the engine. All right, this is a carryover. This car runs a carryover engine from the predecessor, 1.8 liter engine mated to a CVT. Outputs about just below 140 horsepower. So it's nothing much to shout about. But I would have to say that in city drives, it's adequate. It proves to be adequate. Okay, it will keep pace with the Civic 1.8 for sure, which is, in my opinion, it's not a slow car at all. Not something you would call underpowered by any stretch of the imagination. It will keep pace with the Hyundai Elantra 2.0. On a straight line, it will struggle to keep up perhaps with the Mazda 3, but don't rule it out around the bends. And of course, if you see a Civic Turbo or a Golf TSI or what, move aside. Yeah, but the driving enjoyment provided by this chassis, it's impressive. It's impressive. I really love the handling of this car. But coming back to the engine now, 1.8 liters, below 140 horsepower, it's good enough for town driving. And even on highways, right, it's not exactly what you would call underpowered, unless you backside itchy, you see that BMW 320i, that Mercedes C250, you want to keep up with them, that one susah a bit. But if you just want to potter around town, you want to cruise along the highway at your own pace without rush, then it's okay. This powertrain is perfectly serviceable. It's just that the excellence of this TNGA platform, it gives you that feeling that it can take so much more. There is scope for this car to handle easily 30 to 40 horsepower more, and upwards of 200 to 250 newton meters of torque. But I mean, in the context of just day-to-day driving, city or moderate highway speed cruising, absolutely no issues whatsoever. Okay, now we come to the other point of debate, which is the price tag. For the money that you spend on one of these, you can get yourselves a full spec Honda Civic Turbo that comes with a way more powerful engine, and one which Honda has also moved quickly to update with Honda Sensing. So Honda has reacted very quickly to ensure that the Civic remains competitive, and I would say remain top of class when you factor in the value for money proposition, what you get versus what you pay. Now, granted, the Corolla here, it raises the segment bar, because by being there before the Civic facelift. Okay, until the Civic facelift arrives, this now It leads the segment with full-on advanced driver assist features, auto braking, blind spot warning, lane departure warning, does it have lane keep assist? Okay, let me just scroll. Nope, no lane keep assist, but it does have lane departure warning. So compared to what, once upon a time that that people used to bamboo Toyota for giving only one airbag with the Vios, now Toyota is really going all out with safety. So the Corolla here is really one of the segment's leading lights with regards to active and advanced safety. But can it justify the price tag that really would have that would give you so much more power where if you were to go for the Honda Civic? Well, in absolute terms, no. If you are shopping in the C segment, 130,000 ringgit budget, just like what I've said when I reviewed the Mazda 3, there is no running away from the fact that the Civic for 130,000 ringgit in this segment is the car that gives you the best value for money proposition, no question. Okay, no two ways about it. The one factor that really makes me, right, if I was shopping with at this budget, the one aspect that would really make me pay 130,000 ringgit for this, it's because it has rear double wishbone suspension, and it is something that to me, I appreciate. I feel the difference when I drive, and that's why I would feel justified to pay that kind of money for it. But if for you don't appreciate that, then fair enough. The Civic is definitely the more convincing option. As a product, the Civic is difficult to argue against, but the Corolla, to me, in my opinion, it definitely has the more widely talented chassis. And the best thing about the Corolla is that it does not just handle better than the Civic. It is also the ride is also impressively supple. Okay, I was driving over like some of the PJ roads and all that. The suspension actually deals with all the potholes and patches of road, isolating them with near magic carpet levels. So for a chassis to give you this kind of sporty handling and at the same time, all right, not penalize you in any way with regards to comfort, that to me, all right, is worth a premium. But that premium is only worthwhile if you know how to enjoy it.